1 Chronicles 24. Divisions of the Levites. Now the divisions of the descendants of Aaron were these. The sons of Aaron were Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died before their father and had no sons. So Eleazar and Ithamar served as priests. David, with Zadok of the sons of Eleazar and Ahimelech of the sons of Ithamar, divided them according to their offices for their ministry. Since more chief men were found from the descendants of Eleazar than the descendants of Ithamar, they divided them this way. There were 16 heads of fathers' households of the descendants of Eleazar, and 8 of the descendants of Ithamar according to their fathers' households. So they were divided by lot, the one as the other, for they were officers of the sanctuary and officers of God, both from the descendants of Eleazar and the descendants of Ithamar. Shemaiah, the son of Nethanel the scribe from the Levites, recorded them in the presence of the king, the leaders Zadok the priest, Ahimelech the son of Abiathar, and the heads of the fathers' households of the priests and the Levites, one father's household taken for Eleazar and one taken for Ithamar. Now the first lot came out for Jehoiarib, the second for Jediah, the third for Haram, the fourth for Seorim, the fifth for Malchijah, the sixth for Mijamin, the seventh for Hakaz, the eighth for Abijah, the ninth for Jeshua, the 10th for Shechaniah, the 11th for Eliashib, the 12th for Jachim, the 13th for Huppah, the 14th for Jeshabib, the 15th for Bilgah, the 16th for Immer, the 17th for Hezer, the 18th for Hapitzes, the 19th for Pethahiah, the 20th for Jehezkel, the 21st for Jachin, the 22nd for Gamul, the 23rd for Deliah, and the 24th for Maaziah. These were their offices for their ministry when they entered the house of the Lord according to the ordinance given to them through their father Aaron, just as the Lord God of Israel had commanded him. Now for the rest of the sons of Levi, of the sons of Amram Shubael, of the sons of Shubael Jediah, of Rehabiah, of the sons of Rehabiah Ishiah the first, of the Izharites Shelomoth, of the sons of Shelomoth Jahath, the sons of Hebron, Jeriah the first, Amariah the second, Jahaziel the third, Jechimim the fourth, of the sons of Uzziel Micah, of the sons of Micah Shemir, the brother of Micah Ishiah, of the sons of Ishiah Zechariah, the sons of Merari Mali and Mushi, the sons of Josiah Beno, the sons of Merari. By Josiah were Beno, Shoam, Zachar, and Ibri. By Mali, Eleazar who had no sons. By Kish, the sons of Kish Jeremiel. The sons of Mushi, Mali, Eder, and Jerimoth. These were the sons of the Levites according to their fathers' households. These also cast lots just as their relatives, the sons of Aaron did in the presence of David the king, Zadok, Ahimelech, and the heads of the fathers' households of the priests and of the Levites, the head of fathers' households as well as those of his younger brother. 1 Chronicles 25. Number and services of musicians. Moreover, David and the commanders of the army set apart for the service some of the sons of Asaph, Heman and Jeduthun, who were to prophesy with lyres, harps, and cymbals, and the number of those who performed this service was, of the sons of Asaph, Zachar, Joseph, Nethaniah, and Asherelah. The sons of Asaph were under the direction of Asaph, who prophesied under the direction of the king. Of Jeduthun, the sons of Jeduthun, Gedaliah, Zeri, Jeshaiah, Shimi, Hashabiah, and Mattathiah, 6 in all, under the direction of their father Jeduthun with the harp, who prophesied in giving thanks and praising the Lord. Of Heman, the sons of Heman, Bukiah, Mattaniah, Uzziel, Shebuel, and Jerimoth, Hananiah, Hanani, Eliathah, Gedalti and Romamtiezer, Joshbekashah, Malothi, Hothar, and Mahaziath. All these were the sons of Heman the king's seer to exalt him according to the words of God. For God gave 14 sons and 3 daughters to Heman. All of these were under the direction of their father to sing in the house of the Lord, with cymbals, harps, and lyres, for the service of the house of God. Asaph, Jeduthun, and Heman were under the direction of the king. Their number who were trained in singing to the Lord, with their relatives all who were skillful, was 288. Divisions of the musicians. They cast lots for their duties all alike, the small as well as the great, the teacher as well as the pupil. Now the first lot came out for Asaph to Joseph, the second for Gedaliah. He with his relatives and sons were 12, the third to Zachar, his sons and his relatives 12, the fourth to Isri, his sons and his relatives 12, the fifth to Nethaniah, his sons and his relatives 12, the sixth to Bukiah, his sons and his relatives 12, the seventh to Jesharilah, his sons and his relatives 12, the eighth to Jeshaiah, his sons and his relatives 12, the ninth to Mattaniah, his sons and his relatives 12, the 10th to Shimi, his sons and his relatives 12, the 11th to Azrael, his sons and his relatives 12, the 12th to Hashabiah, his sons and his relatives 12, for the 13th Shubael, his sons and his relatives 12, for the 14th Mattathiah, his sons and his relatives 12, for the 15th to Jerimoth, his sons and his relatives 12, for the 16th to Hananiah, his sons and his relatives 12, for the 17th to Joshbekasha, his sons and his relatives 12, for the 18th to Hanani, his sons and his relatives 12, for the 19th to Malothi, his sons and his relatives 12, for the 20th to Eliathah, his sons and his relatives 12, for the 21st to Hothar, his sons and his relatives 12, for the 22nd to Gedalti, his sons and his relatives 12, for the 23rd to Mahaziath, his sons and his relatives 12, for the 24th to Romamtiezer, his sons and his relatives 12. 1 Chronicles 26. Divisions of the gatekeepers. For the divisions of the gatekeepers there were of the Korahites, Meshelemiah the son of Kore, of the sons of Asaph. Meshelemiah had sons: Zechariah the firstborn, Jediel the second, Zebediah the third, Jathniel the fourth, Elam the fifth, Johanan the sixth, and Elihoenai the seventh. Obed-Edom had sons: Shemaiah the firstborn, Jehozabad the second, Joah the third, Sacher the fourth, Nethanel the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Issachar the seventh, and Pilathai the eighth. God had indeed blessed him. Also to his son Shemaiah sons were born who ruled over the house of their father, for they were valiant mighty men. The sons of Shemaiah were Othni, Rephael, Obed, and Elzabad, whose brothers Elihu and Semachiah were valiant men. All these were of the sons of Obed-Edom. They and their sons and relatives were able men with strength for the service. 62 from Obed-Edom. Meshelemiah had sons and relatives 18 valiant men. Also Hosea, one of the sons of Merari, had sons: Shimri the first. Although he was not the firstborn, his father made him first. Hilkiah the second, Tebaliah the third, and Zechariah the fourth. The sons and relatives of Hosea were 13 in all. To these divisions of the gatekeepers, to the chief men, were given duties like their relatives, to serve in the house of the Lord. They cast lots, the small and the great alike, according to their fathers' households, for every gate. The lot to the east fell to Shelemiah. Then they cast lots for his son Zechariah, a counselor with insight, and his lot came out to the north. For Obed-Edom it fell to the south, and to his sons went the storehouse. For Shuppim and Hosea it was to the west, by the gate of Shalcheth on the ascending highway. Guard corresponded to guard. On the east there were 6 Levites, on the north 4 daily, on the south 4 daily, and at the storehouse 2 by 2. At the annex on the west there were 4 at the highway and 2 at the annex. These were the divisions of the gatekeepers of the sons of Korah and of the sons of Merari. Keepers of the treasure. The Levites, their relatives, were in charge of the treasures of the house of God, and of the treasures of the dedicated gifts. The sons of Ladan, the sons of the Gershonites belonging to Ladan, namely, the Jehielites, were the heads of the fathers' households, belonging to Ladan the Gershonite. The sons of Jehieli, Zetham, and his brother Joel, were in charge of the treasures of the house of the Lord. As for the Amramites, the Izharites, the Hebronites, and the Uzzielites, Shebuel the son of Gershom, the son of Moses, was officer over the treasures. His relatives by Eleazar were Rehabiah his son, Jeshaiah his son, Joram his son, Zichri his son, and Shelomoth his son. This Shelomoth and his relatives were in charge of all the treasures of the dedicated gifts which King David and the heads of the fathers' households, the commanders of thousands and hundreds, and the commanders of the army, had dedicated. They dedicated part of the spoils won in battles to repair the house of the Lord. And all that Samuel the seer had dedicated, and Saul the son of Kish, Abner the son of Nah, and Joab the son of Zeruiah, everyone who had dedicated anything, all of this was under the care of Shelomoth and his relatives. Outside duties. As for the Israelites, Shenaniah and his sons were assigned to outside duties for Israel, as officers and judges. As for the Hebronites, Hashabiah and his relatives, 1,700 capable men, were responsible for the affairs of Israel west of the Jordan, for all the work of the Lord and the service of the king. As for the Hebronites, Jerijah the chief, these Hebronites were sought out according to their genealogies and fathers' households, in the 40th year of David's reign, and men of outstanding capability were found among them at Jazer of Gilead, and his relatives, capable men, numbered 2,700, heads of fathers' households. And King David appointed them as overseers of the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of the Manassites concerning all the affairs of God and of the king.